comics are stupid.
No Harry Potter movie is good.
And you're like, give me the Snyder Cut. Oh, sorry, just walk in front of you here. Gonna put my popcorn down. Oh, sorry, gotta put this here.
Universal needs to sue Sony.
Hey, I'm an idiot. I was fired from Fox. Let me go.
I'd like actually to see Venom just crush Spider-Man.
Hello everyone, so I'm back today, and so you know those things called really bad business decisions? Well, we're witnessing in the middle of one. So just like, about an hour after I recorded the video regarding the Trolls' huge box office revenue, what it means for VOD, we got another update, and I was going to talk about it, but then I decided to wait and hold my horses because I figured, okay, maybe we'll get another update, and at this point, we have not, so I'm just going to assume that around 24 hours later, there will be nothing else on this, at least immediately. So now that I say that, there'll probably be an update as soon as I'm finished, but anyhow, so you know those things called bad business decisions? Well, we're witnessing one of those right now, which is that after the CEO of Universal Pictures, who made the Trolls movie and is also responsible for, the Fast and the Furious franchise, the Jurassic franchise, and all those big money franchises. Basically, the CEO was like, oh yeah, this is very viable and we want to put Trolls and all our other movies, I guess, onto VOD and release them in theaters so we can maximize profits. Now, that doesn't seem unreasonable to the average person, but apparently, well, not apparently, but anyone who knows how these theater and people negotiations work, and like movie studio negotiations work, we also know that this is sadly not the way it's been done, because for the longest time, the theaters have had the most power when it comes to release windows. And the reason for that is obviously because of the fact that release windows, because the theaters can make or break movies, because typically you can't make as much money, or at least it was thought you couldn't make as much money on VOD as you could on theatrical releases. And so for the longest time that was the case. Now that the Trolls has proven that yes, some movies at least can make that kind of money, they were like, yeah, let's not try to maximize profits. And the people who didn't see Trolls at home, maybe we'll watch them in theaters and other movies like that, We're going to be able to maximize profits then. But the problem with that is, as soon as you have people who are watching movies at home, like let's say the next Fast and the Furious movie, if they released it almost simultaneously on VOD and in the theaters, you're going to have a decreased number of people who are interested in going to see it in theaters. More people will be interested in watching it in their own living room. So the theaters suddenly get all big and anxious. Now, AMC, the biggest theater chain in all of the world, which operates in Asia, North America, Europe, and which is basically every single continent, and is definitely operates in the continents of the two major movie markets, which are China and the United States. Basically said, no, well, we're no longer going to be playing any Universal Studios movies, which includes the next Fast and the Furious movie, the Jurassic World 3, or anything else like that forever, I guess. And it was enacted yesterday from when I'm recording this, which means as soon as theaters reopen. Now, this is either the stupidest business decision on their part or the smartest. Because, you see, now they did state, the CEO of AMC stated, yes, this isn't to be punitive to Universal, but it's because they are basically being unfair in negotiations, which essentially is true. And they said they would do it to any studio who ended up deciding that the best course of action is to try to break that, what has typically been known as that, 6-week or release window between when you can have anything available on VOD compared to when it can be in the theaters. Because the theaters are very strict about that for the very specific reason of not wanting to kind of cause issue, right? Because they want to make sure they can maximize their profits, and then they're okay if you release it on VOD. But if you release it too early, people may not go to the theaters, so just wait till it comes out on VOD. So the trouble there, obviously, is that now you've got a case where Universal will probably, for the most part, be forced to put their movies on VOD. And it would be interesting to see if other chains follow. Because the funny thing about this all is that, yes, AMC, being the biggest chain, could cause a blow to Universal. But at the same time, if no other theater chain follows, Universal, because the thing is, it could hurt AMC severely. Because if everyone says, okay, the Fast and the Furious movie is coming out, a lot of people do have a choice between a smaller theater, which will have it, and an AMC theater, and maybe they'll just say, I'm just going to go to the smaller theater and see it if I want to watch it in theaters. And so if no other theaters follow suit, essentially, it's a useless kind of thing. And so that'll be an interesting thing to kind of see, because, of course, you have this case where if no theater follows suit, then net, I think it'll hurt AMC more than Universal. Now, if every theater follows suit, you could see potentially it hurting Universal more than it hurting the theaters. Now, I think this kind of outcome of this kind of standoff in a way, this like Western kind of standoff, will decide the future of cinema for everyone. Because if this really works for Universal, then guess what's going to happen? Well, obviously you're not going to see you're not going to see someone like Disney saying, well, we'll keep waiting. If Universal starts making more money, Disney's going to follow suit, and Warner Bros. Will follow suit, and all these major studios will follow suit. And it's not even like Universal only has VOD. They also have their own streaming platform, Peacock, which will be another thing that is open to them to use to release movies. So I think this could actually be Universal's kind of almost push toward what the future movies will be. And they'll be the guinea pigs in a way. If it blows up in their face, then it won't end up being, it won't be followed by other studios. But if Trolls is any indication, Trolls 2, then it doesn't look like it's going to blow up in their face. And actually, I think it'll actually end up blowing up in the theaters companies' faces, because this was the final push kind of away from at least the majority of your movies going in the theaters initially and not coming out on home video. Like, yes, something like Endgame, you may see more of a theatrical kind of audience because it's a huge movie, made on IMAX cameras and whatnot, which you want to see in theaters. It's an event movie in a way. But not every movie that comes out in theaters is an event movie, and some of them are movies that would probably fare better on video on demand. So, or even a streaming service, which is interesting. So let me know what you think down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts. And of course, see you next time. Bye-bye.